It's good to see you guys today, and thank you for working with me. I know I gave you a heads up that we'd be doing some special work today in 5-4, okay? And we actually talked about this a little bit this morning when we talked about text features. But I want to look at a different book I have right now and look at some text features. So before we look at this, remind me, in a nonfiction book, what do we usually see for text features? What would be an example? Camilla, go ahead. Subtitles. Captions. Jack, you know what? Don't worry about raising your hand. Let's just wait for someone else to finish talking and we'll keep going.
The pictures and the captions.
Okay, so pictures, captions will go along with that. Gabrielle?
I think could be text box. Text features.
Okay.
Like the underline word for the glossary.
Ooh, cool. So Gabrielle's thinking about a word might be underlined or italicized or bold if it's in the glossary. I heard you say something else a moment ago, Gabrielle.
Text box.
Text box, okay. And you know what? We're going to be looking a little bit more today at text boxes. And that's the one I want to think about. So I'm going to end the index. Thank you, Camilla. If you guys would go ahead and take a book. Jack, that one's for you. And I want us to open up to the first couple pages. So we're actually going to go past the table of contents and to where the introduction starts today on pages 2 and 3, okay? So this particular book today is all about different kinds of reptiles. Oops, you know what? Let's go back to the cover for a moment. My mistake. So this particular book today is all about different types of reptiles. And I noticed that ahead of that word reptiles, it says survival instincts. Survival instincts. So if an animal is trying to survive, especially in the wild, the way that I see this particular chameleon doing, they have some special ways that they try to stay alive. Camilla? Ooh, like camouflage, like what I see with this particular lizard, okay? Now, I know we probably won't have a chance today to read the entire book, but I want to share together the first couple of pages, pages 2 and 3, where the introduction is. And Gabrielle mentioned text boxes, and I'm giving you a hint that that's specifically what I want to look at today. But I want to give you a chance to start to read these couple of pages. Now, as you're reading right now, I want you to start under the heading introduction where it says, as the saying goes, and I want you to continue to read on this page. If you get to the end of the page, go ahead and start over again. Don't go on to a new page, okay? So I'm going to give you a few minutes right now. I want you to read both pages, Camilla, and if you get to the end, go ahead and start over.
And while you're reading, Miss Cross or I might come by and listen to you read. So just read a little bit out loud so we can hear you reading as well.
Animals need to protect themselves from reptiles. In the wild, survival instincts can be the difference between life and death.
So survival instincts. Do you know what that word means?
Like protect. No. Like be in the wild.
So I know.
Okay, so
point out.
animals are in the wild and they try to protect themselves. I see that word is a bold word. What do you think that means because it's a bold word?
Because it's a word we don't usually use.
So it's a word you don't usually use. Is there a place in the book that you might be able to find out what that word means?
Glossary.
Oh, glossary. So the glossary tells us words we're not sure of what they mean. So what does survival instinct mean?
A way of behaving in order to stay alive that animals are born with.
So that's a really long definition that the book gives. Can you take that definition and kind of like put it in your own words? So it says a way of behaving in order to stay alive that animals are born with. So
Animals need to protect themselves in order to live.
So yeah, that they kind of like do it naturally. They don't think about it. It's just something they do that they're born with to help them stay alive. So if you get stuck on a bold word, you can go to the glossary and that could help you figure out what it means. Good job. Keep reading. Let's go ahead and read from Gabriel.
Reptiles aren't helpless, but they have many defenses they can use to protect themselves and their homes. In the face of a threat, a reptile's usual behavior is to avoid it. Lizards dart away, snakes slither away, turtles hide in their shells or slip into the water. Escape is sometimes the only way to live another day. Often, staying out of trouble is impossible. That's when a reptile uses its defenses to help it stay alive. It may use color, size, special body parts, or even deadly poison to survive. Read on to learn more. What is a reptile? All reptiles breathe air. They have backbones. Their bodies are covered with dry scales, and they are cold-blooded. To get warm, they must spend some time each day in the sun. They cool down in the shade or underground. Very cold weather can leave reptiles stunned. They'll move sluggishly, and may even hibernate if the cold spell lasts for a long time.
So I see that the author included a text box on that page. Why do you think he did that?
To show the reader about what is a reptile and what special features they have.
So why do you think the author included that in this story?
And I think to so the reader wouldn't read in the same part.
Okay, so this book, what is this book talking all about?
Reptile.
So this book is talking all about reptiles. So if you don't know what a reptile is, it might be a good idea for the author to include that for those people who don't know what it is. And like you said, it gives you good specific details about what a reptile is that you can go refer back to as you're reading the story. So good job, Gabriel.
All right, can all four of us find a spot where we can pause? Don't close the book though. Awesome timing, Jack. We're gonna look at pages 2 and 3 together right now. And I just heard the very end of Mr. Croston's conversation with Gabrielle, and I heard him mention some of the text features. And I have a question for us today as I look at these 2 pages together. I noticed that the author decided to put a text box on this page 3 and title it, "What is a Reptile?" I know you might have already read it together, but let's take a moment and let's reread it to ourselves, and give me a little thumbs up when you're done rereading that text box. As you read it, let me finish my directions real quick. As you read it, I want you to think about, why do you think the author put this information in this text box? Why? Go ahead and read it and give me a thumbs up when you're done. Thanks, Gabrielle. Thanks, Jack. Okay, it looks like we're all done. Let's come back together, please. So my question to you before we started to reread the text box was, why do we think the author decided to use this information in a text box? That was my question. Before you share with me and Mr. Croston, let's give you a chance to talk to each other. Let's use elbow partners right now, so Gabrielle with Camilla and Gabrielle with Jack. Tell them why you think the author did that.
I think the author did this.
I think
he made that title because the title of the book is reptile.
Understand what is a reptile?
You don't know what the book is.
So we know that reptiles are a really important part of this book. It's in the title. Gabrielle, what can you add to that?
And the author wrote some things that reptiles have in special that other animals don't have.
Okay. Was there anything that in this text box jumped out to you and gave you a better understanding here of something else you might have read?
That reptiles like
So what is the title of this text
air.
box?
They don't like reptile.
So why might that information be important to
So
understanding
you were
this
imagining
book?
a different type of animal and maybe didn't know if that animal was a reptile or had reptile characteristics.
And I think
If you don't know
they
what a
said
reptile
they
is,
often
how would you understand
when
what's going on in the book,
predators
right?
came, so
it's
they
kind of
could eat
important
it.
that
I
you know
think
what
when
reptiles
they
are
were
to
getting the
understand the
sun
rest of the book.
because they're cold-blooded.
Okay.
So-
Ooh, and I heard a good description there.
Text box is
Here,
important
you know what?
because
I
why?
want to have us come back together so you guys can share your ideas and so can Camilla and Gabrielle, okay?
It's important to understand the rest of the book. Good job, guys.
So we had 2 different conversations just now. I want to give you guys a chance to share your ideas with each other and for us to listen in too, okay? So, you know what, I'll start with the students that didn't get a chance to talk to me. What's something you shared with each other with Mr. Croston about the text box and why you think the author used it today?
Understand to see what like the book is about, because if you don't know what a reptile is, you don't know what the book is about.
Okay, so we knew from our very first conversation that reptiles were an important part of this book. What else, Gabrielle?
That you can like understand more by reading what is a reptile, because you can know no, you may not know that he's cold-blooded or he's been studying the sun.
Was there a detail in there, I just heard you mention cold-blooded and the sun. Was there a detail in there that you didn't know about a reptile that you thought was
Yes.
cool, that you just learned? Which detail jumped out to you?
That very cold weather can leave reptiles stunned.
Okay, and then when I read that word stunned, I imagine like the animal can't move. Because of the cold weather, it's just kind of stuck there, kind of like it was hit with a stun gun. Jack and Gabrielle, let's see what you can add to what Camilla and Gabrielle shared with us.
That this mainly like it describes like the entire book basically. Because if you don't know what a reptile is, you don't know like what the book is.
So I hear you, it sounds like agreeing with Camilla right now. Is that true, Jack? Okay, Gabrielle Park?
And like Gabriel said, is some parts of here are related to the text here, that they're cold-blooded and then predators can hunt them.
Oh, did you want to finish your thought? I'm sorry. Okay. So here's what I want to close with today, okay? I know we didn't get a chance to read this whole book. Maybe we can try to come back to it a different day. I knew today we probably only have time for the first 2 pages. But I want you to see if you can make some connections for how we could use this in some of our other reading and writing work during our class time. So I want to come back to how you think you might use a text box. So we're working with your westward expansion writing right now. What's a way that you think you could use a text box in your westward expansion writing to maybe help your reader understand something extra? Let's take like 30 seconds. Talk to the elbow partner again.
Maybe like a little like information of what like let's say you're doing like the Oregon Trail, you can do like interesting facts about the Oregon Trail or describe what
You
will
can
help
add,
you
Okay.
or in the Native Americans, you can put questions in the text box. If you're writing about a person,
If you don't know.
you can put what was
Do you think of any other reasons you might include a text book? I don't
So
know
maybe some
what
extra
your-
facts
your
about the Native
project is
American leaders
mostly
or
about,
chiefs
but
that you
can
maybe
you think
don't
of
have
any
a
other
place to
thing
put in the rest of your writing.
you could
Okay,
do with
so
a
maybe
text
highlight
box?
interesting facts too.
understand the rest of the story because it's mainly about one big topic with
Little subtopics?
Maybe let's share real quick out how we think we might use a text box in our own writing or reading.
maybe
Go ahead, Jack.
maybe like if you're like doing Native Americans like Gabriel said, you can like put like interesting facts about Native Americans, like fun facts.
Okay, fun facts. And what was your example of a fun fact, Gabrielle?
and like when they were born and what was their name
Okay.
and what it was thing they did to become famous.
Okay.
Or you can put like, what is the westward expansion?
Okay. Or maybe, you know what, that might
An
be a
introduction.
big idea. So you're thinking maybe in your introduction you could include some more details. Camilla, anything else you would want in your text box?
It will help you for the reader to understand all of the writing that you're gonna do in like that part and the other parts.
Okay. You know what, I want us to keep that last question in our minds because it has to do with our everyday work with our writing and our reading. So we're going to try to remember the text features that have helped us the most and try to use what we see other authors doing in our own writing, in our own reading. Thank you all for working with us today.